Hey guys, it's Paige with AskPaigeSchulte.com. Wanted to give you a Gig Harbor market update. We are rolling into the second half of the year, and as we go into this, I specialize in the Gig Harbor and surrounding areas, really with a focus on the Gig Harbor and Key Peninsula areas. We're the #1 team in the area for that. And we want to give you a deep dive on what's going on in each different price sector here, from the Narrows Bridge to the Purdy Bridge. I think the most interesting fact is that we've hit the peak of probably even next week. We're seeing the largest number of inventory that we've seen all year, which typically we see these kind of numbers in May. So we are getting a late start on the jump in inventory, which is exciting for buyers, and a little bit more competition for sellers. It's going to be a little bit more in the next couple weeks. We have 5 coming on next week, which typically we see those kind of numbers coming on in the May season, month of May. But here we are in mid-June, and we're seeing this turn. I think some of it has to do with the interest rates and wanting to time things just perfectly for people's lives, instead of trying to get things exactly right with like the spring market. People are just doing things at the cadence that they want to do it. And here we are in June with the highest amount of inventory. Not unseasonably common. This is usually the bump that we see in May is coming later in the season. So for the buyers, there's some grace coming. You're going to have some choices and hopefully a little bit less of a rush. However, if we look at the Gig Harbor market as an example, and your agent that you're working with should be very hyper local, and that's what's going to help you know the cadence of the market so that you can compete, because some price points are still incredibly hot, and some houses, even in the quieter price points, are still going very quickly. If it's very compelling, it's going to sell. So if it's compelling, it's selling. And that could be at the highest price range and the slowest price range, and it will sell for multiple offers. Your actives on the market are 134 from the Narrows Bridge to the Purdy Bridge, and you have 74 pending. We look at the strength of the market. 55% is a neutral market. That's exactly where we're at. There's no major benefit to buyer or seller. If we look at the numbers overall, that's every price range. And that includes condos, which condos don't take up that much of the inventory, but they are a place to live if we're looking at housing in general. And with only 134 homes on the market, we need every piece of housing that we can. I think condos make up for probably 6 of those, but we'll take it. So if you drill down to these numbers, we would look at 450 to 600,000. That is going to be 175% sales ratio. We have Ed. You want to come say hi? Come say hi to everybody. We're doing a recording of the market update.
Oh gosh! Hello.
The man, the myth, the legend. Here he is. All right. So 450 to 600,000. Active homes on the market is 4, and pending is 7. So in that market, we would be looking at writing really compelling offers, getting in there with a pre-inspection, and getting really, we don't miss a house at that price range. When we work with our buyers, there's 2 agents for every buyer so that you never miss a house. There's always somebody available for you, especially when we're looking at anything under 900,000 in Gig Harbor, anything really. As we go through this, I'll tell you why. But that's 175% sales ratio. It's a raging hot market, and it is to be expected in the Gig Harbor market because the average price point is right around 870,000. Anything under that will be very popular. 600 to 800,000, active on the market is 23, pending is 20. Another really, really hot market. It's an 87% sales ratio. It is a seller's market, and it is a market that we expect every time we see that to move very fast. Those are going to be your between 1970 and early 1990s that might need some work, but they have a really stellar backyard. You might see some new construction sprinkled in there. Let me preface that. Resale of newer construction, so your 2015s to 2021, 2021. And those ones might take a little bit longer to sell, but they are still selling at list price or maybe even slightly below, but you just don't get the rush of buyers going in to that house for showings, but you do get a buyer, if that makes sense. So us knowing the cadence of the market and every single price point, every single neighborhood, we can tell you here's what to expect in terms of foot traffic, and then when we expect to see an offer. 800 to $1 million, this price range is about a 50% sales ratio. We're going to see a lot more inventory coming in this price range. This is kind of your typical Harbor Hill house, and this is the time of year when the Harbor Hill homeowners move. It is the end of the school year. Happy end of the school year to all of the people out there. And that is when they put their house on the market and they move over the summer. So we will start to see, I think we saw 2 on Moonlight Court. That's a great street. But we will see more of that. And those ones trade somewhere between $850 to $950 in that range, depending on your greenbelt situation and stuff like that. So you'll also see 90s or early 2000s that have really great backyards. They're going to be in neighborhoods like Bridgewood Estates, Bridlewood, Whitley Hills, and some of those neighborhoods that are really sought after for their sense of community, great trick-or-treating, and really awesome backyards. So we saw one come on the market there. That's at $875, 2,600 square feet, a little bit on the smaller side, but I expect that to sell at asking or above. That's going to be a hot home. And so understanding that nuance, when we look at the numbers, it doesn't tell the full story if you're not looking at each individual neighborhood and knowing that is going to be a hot home. We expect that to do really well. Let's get in there and get after it. 1 million to 1.5, that price range is 53% sales ratio. This one, if you have something that's really great in something like Trinity Ridge or Chelsea Park or Highlands at Rosedale, those ones are newer construction. They do have backyards. The other one is East Gig Harbor. One just came on at 1,350. That's a 1-story with a half-story above, so 1.5-story garret home, really easy main floor living. That came on at 1,350, and I expect that one to go pretty quickly. It's a little bit further out, but the floor plan is so compelling, and it's got a great backyard that's not too overwhelming for somebody who might be downsizing and want that floor plan. So sometimes you can say, oh, as a buyer, I can't make it this weekend, I'll go next weekend. Oftentimes we'll tell people, I wouldn't chance it. I'd get in there as soon as you can. Let's get flexible and at least get your eyes on it so that you can digest and make some decisions and process. Because if it's something in those neighborhoods, those tend to sell pretty quickly. If you have a really good floor plan in Canterwood in this price range, and it's even moderately updated, those ones also tend to sell very quickly. Great backyards, lifestyle neighborhood, and the reason why you have some houses lingering on the market is because they're overpriced either for their location or condition. On paper, it looks like they should sell, but we have a very sensitive market between 1 million and 1.5, because if you have a house that might be more favorable to non-cash buyers that have a really good interest rate and no motivation to move, they are leaving a 3% interest rate and going to a 7%. So anything that is not an easy cash purchase is a little bit harder for somebody to move into. And if it needs updating, then you also have to have the cash to put towards that. So it's a painful price point for families and some of those people that are moving from a really low interest rate, and it is an optional move. You have to really hate where you live or have some major life change in order to give up your interest rate, and that is that price range. It'll still sell. It's doing well. It might be a little bit slower. A lot of cash buyers are out there right now. They're the ones really moving the Gig Harbor market. Okay, so as we go, thank you for sticking around. If you've stuck around for the luxury market at 1.5 to 2 million, this one is holding strong. A lot of the 1.5 to 2 million are updated. They might be a little bit on the larger side. So if you are a larger home in this price range, you've got to wait for your households with more people. I'm going to make sure, fair housing and all of that. We, all types of households, but the families are, like I said, there's some pain in leaving their interest rates. It's got to be a really good magical situation for them to leave that interest rate and upsize. So some of these larger homes are sitting a little bit longer. If they don't have a primary on the main, they've got to really be patient and find their perfect buyer. So 1.5 to 2 million is pretty compelling in most cases, and they're seeing that price range. But as more inventory comes on, they're having more choices, and you might take a little bit longer to find your perfect buyer. So have your agent continue to do the marketing to get your house out there into the universe. This showings have been consistent, but and get the feedback. Find out if it's just finding your perfect buyer and it'll take time, or are we too high? Is there anything that we can change in terms of location or condition? Can't change the location. You can change price and condition at the end of the day. That's where pre-inspections come in and stuff like that, so that you can really identify some of those trigger points for people that might be holding them back from making an offer, if it's not just the price. 2 million to 2.5 is a 43% sales ratio. It's actually doing pretty well. This is the 2 million and up time to shine. It's sunny. These are your waterfront homes. Your waterfront homes are really trending more to the 2.5 million and up range. There is a lot of inventory at 2.5 plus, but we just had a condo that we wrote an offer on at 2.6 million, one of the highest in Heron Point, and that one went for multiple offers on day one. We wrote it up immediately. We got the pre-inspection done on it. I think they actually had a pre-inspection. I can't really remember. That one closes today, 10-day close, all cash. A lot of our 2 million and up are heavy cash buyers, and that is because interest rates are where they're at. If it has primary living, if it has stellar views, if it's waterfront, it will still sell, and those are cash buyers typically in our market. If they're not fully cash, that's only because they don't want to take their money out of the stock market that's doing well. So what are we doing to prepare our sellers to be best positioned in the market? Dialing down on the numbers like this, identifying who their ideal client avatar is, who is their ideal buyer, and how do we cater to them? How do we make sure that we price accordingly and manage expectations for days on market so that we don't overreact and feel like we need to change the price or do something dramatic. Some of these houses will sell. We're not seeing a whole lot sell under 95% of sale to sold, and we are still breaking records in terms of sale prices. So the market is continuing to go up. I think that the additional inventory will be great for the market and for Gig Harbor, and we have so many more buyers flooding into the market as well now that graduations will be behind us. I think it's after this week. Lots of college graduations this week, so a lot of distractions. If you're looking at selling, the things that we've added this year to help ease the stress and make the transaction smoother, we are paying for pre-inspections for all of our sellers. That way we can get ahead and have a little bit more control in what we're looking at in terms of what are some hidden crawl space, roof, attic, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and trying to identify some of those obstacles that get us to a smoother close. If you guys have questions at all, hit me up. I'm at askpaigeschulte.com. We provide cleaning for our listings, really on point digital marketing and print media, community marketing. We know every single school. We have videos on every single school, really amazing amenities and services that are included. We have a designer that works with some of our homes that might need a little bit of updating right before they go to market. So designer, stager, storage options. We literally have people that move out and they leave everything behind and we take care of the rest. So full concierge service. If you guys are interested in talking about how we can help you market your home and position it perfectly in the market, give me a call. AskPaigeSchulte.com. reply to this email, all the things. Talk to you soon. Bye.